Yo, what's up guys? Teacher Paul here, and today we are reacting to Formula One. This video was requested by Whiplash, who says Monaco GP is here. Usually not the most exciting races, but arguably the most exciting qualifications, and with the new cars, the race can change. I can't wait to see what happens now that Mercedes, they are on level ground with everyone else in terms of the motor. Don't know what's going to happen. Can't wait to see it. And at the center of it all, there is a guy racing that is from the country of Monaco. So we have Leclerc over here. Leclerc. And we're going to check out this video, which is actually from a channel called The Race. Link is in the description if you want to go check it out without my reaction. But come back to watch my commentary after you see it. Let's go.
Ferrari has just signed Charles Leclerc to an even longer F1 deal than he was on already.
And I saw so many memes about it. So many people saying that he shot his own foot again and he's signing for many more years. A lot of people were in disbelief, thinking that he made a mistake. Time will tell. Let's see.
Ferrari has just signed Charles Leclerc to an even longer F1 deal than he was on already, and it's going to have the fastest car in Monaco, at least according to its rivals. Ferrari's announcement of Leclerc's new contract was very vague, but we've discovered it takes a deal that was already set to run until 2029 right into the 2030s, making it...
Do you think he made a good deal? He's probably going to retire at Ferrari at this point.
The longest driver contract in F1 right now. With Leclerc still to win a title and stuck on 8 Grand Prix wins in his 8th season at Ferrari, he'd hinted Ferrari's response to the massive 2026 rule changes would be critical in deciding whether he kept the faith or started looking for a way out of his deal. But just 5 events into the new era, he clearly feels he's seen enough promise to go all in on Ferrari, even more
all in. And I saw a lot of memes of people, putting goat memes where they jump into the fire and just crazy stuff. Just funny memes of him saying Leclerc is like that goat who jumped into the fireplace, or that goat who got out of a hole and jumped right back into it. Did you see those memes?
So than he had already. And the contract news feels well timed going into a very big weekend for Ferrari. The F1 paddock is tipping Monaco to be Ferrari's best chance so far in 2026 to win a race and end Mercedes' dominant start to the season.
Yeah, I want to see how they perform in Monaco, because Monaco is pretty hard. And as a guy from Monaco, he's in his hometown. So he's gotta show some what you call it. I don't know. It's normally stronger when you're in your home turf.
And it's not just rivals that are playing up Ferrari's chances in Monaco. Even Leclerc, in the midst of his Canadian Grand Prix weekend misery, looked ahead optimistically for his home race. Leclerc said if there's one race this year where he feels they could have more of a shot at pole, it would be Monaco. But why is that the case? And is it as clear-cut as being made out? McLaren's reigning world champion Lando Norris is sure Ferrari will be on pole, and says its low-speed performance is far better than everyone else's, while Mercedes championship leader Kimi Antonelli believes Ferrari's engine will be key to it being very quick in Monaco. Meanwhile,
correct me if I'm wrong, Monaco has a lot of opportunities to recharge your battery, right? It has a lot of tight turns, so you have more opportunity to recharge your battery. Is that accurate? So you can go on a faster straight. At least that's what I think.
McLaren team boss Andrea Stella says he sees Ferrari as probably the favourite. It's the package as a whole that leads people to believe that Ferrari will be strong in Monaco. Part of that is a little bit of bias towards its Monaco prowess in recent seasons, but even though this is an entirely new set of regulations and a brand new car, Ferrari's DNA of good curb riding tendencies and short duration corner performance has continued into 2026. Now McLaren is good at low speed as well, but Stella hinted that there was a type of very slow speed corner unique to Monaco that's in a more extreme bracket where Ferrari will further excel. And there has been a narrative throughout the early rounds of the season that Ferrari has a better chassis than Mercedes, with its weakness firmly on the engine side. So not only will Monaco potentially bring out
Look
the
at
best of the
that.
Ferrari car, it could also mitigate that V6 engine weakness, because this is not a
Look at that pattern. It's insane. It's insane. I saw somebody saying how the designer of the F1 circuits decided. He just took a piece of cord and threw it on the floor. Whatever shape it was, that's how it's gonna be. But look at that. That is such a weird circuit. But it does feel like the engine, the motor that they have nowadays with the new regulations, it feels like it was made for Monaco. It feels like it.
power sensitive circuit. If there is any weakness on the electric recovery side, that may be mitigated too, as Monaco is a circuit where it's very easy to charge the battery and deploy the MGUK at full power where and when it's needed. If Mercedes has an edge in eking out that last bit from the battery,
Is it the
that
most
simply
difficult
not going
circuit?
to matter as much here. Finally, and this is what Antonelli was hinting at,
Gimme.
the Ferrari engine package has been tipped to be well suited to Monaco. Ferrari runs a smaller turbo than its rivals, which has played a part in strong starts and, more importantly, strong corner exit performance, because the turbo spins the required speed more easily, so there's less lag compromising the combustion engine. On a normal circuit, rivals have to fill that gap with electric power by deploying the MGUK more off the corner, which drains the battery.
That's what I was thinking. They will have more battery for this one. Do you think Kimi will be 5 of 5? That would be crazy. He's 4 of 4 now. 5 of 5 would be crazy. Especially after the, they can't use their old engine anymore. After the engine ban, the motor ban. Monaco's roads are narrow and you have to keep going around and around. I mean, who gets pole position in Monaco will probably win, right?
The first thing that needs to be stressed is that the extreme demands of Monaco push everybody into a different operating window than they have run in all season so far in terms of optimizing the car. So what we have seen conventionally in the first few rounds and what rivals are trying to extrapolate from is not necessarily going to translate. And there's a significant new variable for this race compared to others, as new limits are being imposed on how the electric part of the engine can be used compared to the early rounds. Monaco is going to be energy rich anyway, with massive charging opportunities and not many places to deploy excessively, but there are also restrictions on how much power can be used relative to the speed of the car. Basically, the MGUK will be running at maximum capacity far less in Monaco than at other tracks.
So many
There are fewer
restrictions.
places to use the battery, any energy spent will be less when it is used, because the MGUK will have to be shut off earlier in the car's speed range. That is not great for Ferrari's assumed position as favourite, because it means the overall engine compromises are going to be reduced. If rivals do need to spend more of their battery earlier off a corner to fill in the gap left by a slow spinning turbo, that is not going to be punished in the same way it would on an energy poor track like Melbourne or Suzuka. There aren't consecutive big straights or long power sapping runs anyway, and now there's going to be less MGUK usage, so spending more battery to help with corner exit performance will be easier. And on the car side, yes, the Ferrari package should be well suited to Monaco.
Look at that tire. The details on that tire. Really nice, new, beautiful tires. It looks different though. It has what do you call it, grids? Is that for the rain? Rain tire. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. It looks nice. I haven't seen a rain tire up close like that.
But it's not alone in that. Teams will be
Let me say one thing. If Monaco is more about strategy and more about how are you gonna make the best out of your battery, then I think Kimi will take it again, because he's a strategist and I think he understands the cars, these new cars, more than anyone else. That's why he has been winning. It's insane, but I think he might take it again. I don't know. But Hamilton has been doing very well, so. And let's see, Leclerc also, he might be he might take this one as well. But I'm betting on Ferrari. George has a vengeance also. Don't know. But I'm betting on Mercedes and Ferrari for this one.
Yes, the Ferrari package should be well suited to Monaco, but it's not alone in that. Teams will be dialing their cars more into the low speed stuff because there's not the same corner performance trade-off as at other circuits. If a team has been sacrificing some low speed performance because its strength is in medium or high speed and it wants to accentuate that positive, it will not be doing that in Monaco. There will be far greater emphasis on ride quality, low speed performance and direction change for everybody. And rivals are not bad at low speed. McLaren believes its car is actually best suited to this type of corner rather than medium and high speed, where it feels Ferrari and Mercedes are superior, and this should set McLaren up well for Monaco. Plus, there are a couple of corners in Monaco where medium speed performance is still relevant.
I think Lando is making a comeback
into play, even if it is further adrift in the slow stuff relative to Ferrari. And the Mercedes advantage has been significant so far this year, so Ferrari needs to find several tenths of a second to suddenly leapfrog it. McLaren might also be closer to Ferrari than engine supplier Mercedes in a key technical area in Monaco too, as it runs lower gear ratios than the works Mercedes team. This could help in Monaco having that little bit of extra punch off the corners.
You know, I think actually, I think Alpine is winning this one. I think so. Alpine or Alpine. They're going to take the cake with this Monaco Grand Prix.
IO and try it free. If the Ferrari is capable of being in the mix in Monaco, there will be a massive expectation that one or both of its drivers will be capable of getting the most out of it.
Don't know why.
Lewis Hamilton is going to Monaco off the back of his strongest and happiest weekend in Ferrari colours in Canada, but let's see if he can piece it together on a unique weekend like Monaco and avoid another false dawn. The freshly re-signed Leclerc is the really interesting one because it's his home race, he always loves driving in Monaco and is usually fantastically quick there. And Leclerc is excited to qualify with the 2026 car for a change, primarily because of what the circuit is going to ask of the engine and batteries. Like almost every driver, he's expecting Monaco to make for a more natural experience compared to what 2026 has felt like elsewhere. Ideally, this means leaning on the car as much as possible, not worrying about battery recharging tricks or deployment complexities. Leclerc is at his very best when he dances the car right on the edge of grip, with small slides and throttle and brake overlap. This manipulation is super effective when he is really in the swing of things in Monaco. But with these engines, the complexities of how they work, the software involved and the rules around them, Leclerc's way of driving has run him into trouble. Little lifts when correcting slides and getting back on full throttle mean the engine has sometimes deployed electric power where it shouldn't for an optimal lap, and he's been left lacking a critical bit of energy and power where it's more useful. This has ruined qualifying laps for several drivers and is part of why Leclerc has said he does not enjoy qualifying in these cars, because you get disproportionately punished for the kind of driving that previously gave him an edge. That could be better in Monaco this weekend. The batteries will be regularly topped up, and there are not so many places where a long power run will be punishing if there is slightly less energy to play with. And with this reduction in terms of how much maximum power is available with the Monaco specific power cap, maybe it all adds up to mean that Leclerc won't necessarily be punished this weekend if he drives how he likes. However, the fundamentals of the engine and the rules around it are still there. They haven't just disappeared, so the actual consequences will be interesting to observe. Maybe
there's a lot of things pointing to Leclerc.
Leclerc will be the ultimate barometer for whether Monaco does give drivers the qualifying experience they are all hoping for. If he can be at his best, and if the Ferrari is as good as so many of its rivals are teeing it up to be, then this should be its best chance of beating Mercedes so far. But that's a lot of caveating already for a scenario rivals are talking about as a sure thing.
People are saying it's a sure thing. I did not expect that, but it makes sense. It makes sense. Leclerc, you know, with Ferrari having a lot of good history in Monaco, with him being from Monaco, with this new engine, a lot of things are pointing to Leclerc, so that's going to be interesting. Oh man, I'm reading the comments here. People are not really happy that he, oh man, Charles' manager is on Ferrari payroll. I can't blame him. It's the champions all. Like, literally, a lot of people are not really happy that Leclerc has renovated his contract. But what are you going to do? The qualifying will be interesting. I think it will be super close between 3 leading teams. Yeah, like Canada. Canada had 2-2-2 of each team. But guys, with that said, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see it. It's tomorrow. And I hope you guys enjoy with me. At least the qualifying is. And then the sprint. Or actually the sprint, then the qualifying, right? Or are we not having a sprint this weekend? See you guys. Let me know in the comments. Take care. Bye-bye.